Hello, everyone. Welcome to, I guess, day one of my postpartum journal. It's no longer a pregnancy journal, it's now postpartum journal. Let's see if I can fix this camera a little bit. Um, as you can see, I have my bundle of joy, my new bundle of joy, with me. This is Devin Byron Jackson. I will show him to you towards the end of the video. But I wanted to take this opportunity while I have some time to tell my birth story, a condensed version. Just so you know, my birth was streamed live on Ustream, mostly for family and a few friends to see. So my birth was streaming live, and I will get a chance to look at those videos and edit that, and I will upload some videos of the birth, the significant portions of it, because there's hours and hours and hours. I was in labor for 21 hours, as a matter of fact. Also, I don't know if you remember, I briefly mentioned that there was a possibility that my birth would be filmed or recorded for possibly television. So my producer friend Linda was there, and she also professionally captured the birth, and I can't wait to see what she comes up with, because it was a pretty dramatic experience. So I'll just begin with the beginning, which is, you guys know I had that car accident last week, or I didn't have a car accident. A hit and run driver, basically, drunk hit and run driver hit me with a yellow Hummer, and I've been injured because of that, and have suffered physically because of that. And my perinatologist felt that he wanted me delivered this by the end of the week, just to help me heal, to find out what's going on with my back, and because baby Devin is doing so well. He's doing so well, and we just don't want to push it. So I kind of agreed, but I didn't want to be induced with Pitocin or Cytotec or whatever they use nowadays to induce women. I kind of wanted to try to do it as naturally as possible. So we came up on a compromise that my OB could rupture my membranes, and although rupturing the membranes is not natural, it's better to me than a chemical induction. So on Friday, I was scheduled to go in. This past Friday, the 18th, which is also my due date, I was scheduled to go in and get, I thought, ruptured in my doctor's office. I thought he was going to break my water. I had my towels ready and everything, and then go home in labor, like I had planned on all along, naturally. And so I went to the doctor's office. My friend Linda was there. She recorded that whole process. And the doctor definitely stripped my membranes very, very well. Thought he broke my water. I thought there maybe was a little trickle. I was feeling some warmth down there for a while. It turned out he didn't break my water, but he did get contractions started. Had breakfast with my family and then went home, and I was basically contracting all day, but nothing consistent. It actually was just a stepped up version of what had been happening all week since I ate the labor salad on the 10th, which is basically very intense but not consistent contractions. And I was very disappointed that I wasn't going into some kind of active type of labor. So I called the doctor's office and I said, look, my perinatologist told me, this should be the weekend, and we agreed, we had a talk, and, nothing's happening. What should I do? And they were like, well, you need to come in next week. And I'm like, I'm not going through this, and plus my back is killing me. So about an hour after that phone call, my doctor called back. The doctor's office called back and said, okay, you're scheduled. I'm sorry, he was having a little bit of a gag reflex or something. So I was scheduled to come into the hospital the next day at 10 o'clock, and basically he was going to take that little plastic crochet hook and truly break my water and get things started. So that's what I did. On Saturday, the 19th, came in. It was, of course, me, my husband, my oldest son, Carrie, and my number 3 son, Jovan, he's 12, was there along with Linda, the producer, and my doula came in a little bit later. But my labor was started at 12 o'clock. Doctor came in, ruptured my membranes, told me I was approaching 5 centimeters, meaning that I was very, very close to 5 centimeters. And I thought, wow, that's awesome because I'm halfway through. And I proceeded to get into my hypnobabies. I listened to my birthing day track. I listened to my easy first stage track and basically got into the zone. And just started dealing with the pressure waves, I should say. The pressure waves were tolerable in the beginning. Once they put me on the monitor and monitored the baby for about 20 minutes, made sure that he was doing well, I was given the okay to get up and walk around, use the birth ball, whatever I needed. And what really made me feel good was walking. So I would walk the halls. When my doula showed up, my doula would come with me. She also did some things related to pressure points to help the contractions come and to help them get stronger. And so after about 2 or 3 hours of laboring, I was checked again and told that I was at 5 centimeters. And so I hadn't really progressed too much more. But, again, the contractions were tolerable. So I continued walking the halls. I continued bouncing and rolling on the birthing ball. And thanks to Linda, because I brought my own birthing ball but forgot to bring the pump. So luckily my friend Linda knew someone who had a birthing ball, and I was able to use that. So thank you, Linda. You're awesome. So anyway, after another couple of hours, I was checked again. But this time I was told, and this was by a different nurse because the shifts had changed. This time I was told that the nurse said, I am not feeling a 5, I'm feeling a 4. So essentially, not only did I not progress, but I digressed. Basically, I wasn't getting anywhere. Meanwhile, the pressure waves were getting stronger and stronger and stronger, and I was dealing with them. If you fast forward a little bit more to about 12 hours of labor now, I think little man wants to be seen. Hello? Okay. He basically turned around. So this is Mr. Devin. Oh, I think he's having his moment in the diaper. I'm feeling bubbles. Because he has that look. Look at the face. Look at his face. Yeah, okay. I think you're going to need to have your diaper changed soon. That's funny. Oh, my goodness. Anyway, back to the story. That was kind of funny. So after about 12 hours or so, I was checked again, and again I had not progressed. And by this point, the pressure waves were very intense. I actually felt like I was going into transition. They were coming together 3 to 5 minutes apart. They were lasting a long time. They were getting intense. I was starting to moan through them. What really helped when I was walking the halls was kind of leaning against the wall, putting my head against the wall, closing my eyes, and rocking my hips back and forth, and just getting through each pressure wave. But fast forward even more to about 18 hours of natural labor, and I still had not progressed past what she said was 4 centimeters, when I thought I was 5 centimeters. So at this point, I have been laboring, and I have been really working hard to get through the pressure waves, and I had not progressed. And at that point, the doctor wanted to augment my labor with Pitocin, and I did not want the Pitocin. I mean, when I heard the word puh, when I heard the sound puh, I knew Pitocin was coming. I was like, no, I don't want to do it. But then I thought about it. I was so exhausted after 18 hours. What's wrong, boo-boo? What the matter? Are you okay, sweetie? I was so exhausted. And I thought about it, and I had a conversation with my doula, because the reason why I hired a doula is because I knew I would get to a point, like hit a wall, and I knew that that would come, and I would basically give up on natural childbirth. In my mind, I would say give up on natural childbirth. And I needed someone there that was going to remind me of why, what I wanted to do, what my goal was. So at that point, I talked to my doula, and I was like, this is the point, where I feel like I just want to kind of just let it go and just ask, because she wants to give me Pitocin, and I don't know if I can deal with the contractions if my doctor gives me Pitocin. And I have not progressed. Now, if I had gotten to 6 centimeters, 7 centimeters, and my labor, my birthing time, as they call it in hypnobabies, was as intense as it was, I probably would have still had the motivation to continue unmedicated. But because I had not progressed at all, and they were getting, I was working so hard, so hard I was working. I started to get sad because I knew that, I wasn't going to accept getting the Pitocin without getting the epidural, and my whole idea of having a natural birth was out the window. And then I was concerned about Linda and her project, because the whole thing is about natural childbirth, and for this natural childbirth in the hospital, I was just, I was thinking about everyone else. And at that point, my husband came in. Now, how did my husband know to come in at that point? Because my husband and my 2 sons were in the waiting room, and I was streaming the birth live on Ustream, so my other 2 boys at home could view the birth along with some friends, and they were watching that live stream in the waiting room. So when my husband saw that I was starting to get upset, he came into the room and asked my doula if he could talk to me alone. And it was that conversation that was the turning point of my labor. He basically told me, what are you trying to prove? You go with your gut. If you feel like you need to get the epidural, then get it. You've been laboring all this time. You've been doing an excellent job. You're not progressing. You're tired. You're exhausted. Do what you feel you need to do. And we had this conversation for a while. And I want to thank my husband for supporting me in that way. I finally called my doula back in and told her, you know what, it's time to have this baby. I'm really tired. I'm exhausted. So if the doctor wants to augment with Pitocin, I'm willing to do that. But I want the epidural first. And I kind of cried. I cried a lot. I was mourning the loss of the natural childbirth that I wanted. But I got over it real quick. And I got the epidural and was able to rest. I was able to rest. That was the important thing, because after 18 hours of that intense labor, I was so, again, exhausted. So I was able to rest, and a few hours after that, around 7 in the morning on the 20th, the doctor came in to check me, and I was complete. A couple hours before I was complete, both my doula and my friend Linda said, we're going to go home and get some rest and let you rest, and then we'll all be refreshed when it's time to push. So they went home. So when, when the doctor says, he's right here, are you ready to push? I'm like, no, we gotta call my doula, we gotta call Linda. So we did. I was focused on not pushing, and they got here in time. The squat bar was brought in and put over the bed. And normally, with my other births, I gave birth with my legs in stirrups, but this time I had my legs on the edge of the either side of the birthing bar, of the squat bar, and I had my legs up there. I had them move the mirror into place so that I can see what was happening. And the most amazing part of this birth story, I'm kind of condensing it because we're getting to 15 minutes. I don't want to bore you guys too much. But the most amazing part of this story is that when it was time to push, I didn't push. I had my legs up, had the mirror in place, and I basically watched the show like everyone else. Well, I didn't just watch the show. I mean, I was feeling everything. I guess the epidural either was turned down or it wasn't working anymore, because I definitely was feeling him descend. I was feeling myself open, and I was feeling that ring of fire. But I was so amazed at what I was seeing in the mirror, because I had never paid attention, I'd never seen my own birth like that before, that I either ignored the ring of fire or whatever. Or maybe my hypnobabies anesthesia training helped me, because it really didn't affect me. But to watch him emerge, contraction number 1, his head came out. Contraction number 2, he was out. My body did all of the pushing. I didn't push not one time. It was absolutely amazing. He was put onto my chest. He cried for less than a minute, and the cord pulsated. They waited, because it was my request, and the cord stopped pulsating. I kept feeling the cord, just, to feel if it was pulsating or not. The cord stopped pulsating, and that's when my husband got up from his wheelchair. Remember, my husband is partially paralyzed. Walked over and cut the cord. It was a beautiful, beautiful experience. It was an intense labor. That's what I meant by, it was an intense labor, but the actual delivery was a piece of cake. I didn't mean to make it sound like it was a piece of cake, but for me it was. It was the easiest part of the birth, was when he emerged. But all in all, it was an intense yet beautiful experience. I'm glad I had the baby the way I did. I'm glad I followed my gut. I'm glad I advocated for myself. There were times where during the labor where the doctor wanted to give me IV fluids, and I understood why they wanted to do that. But as long as baby Devin was okay, you can give me something to drink. If you want to see his heartbeat fluctuate on that scan or whatever, give me a cookie or give me something, but I don't want IV fluids. And the beautiful thing about this hospital, UCLA Santa Monica, the birthplace, by the way, I'm singing the praises of this hospital. They worked with me, and they were open and flexible. So what I did have was a beautiful balance, a middle ground between a natural birth and a medicated birth. I just needed the Pitocin to kind of push me over a little bit. I needed the epidural to help me rest. I labored naturally as long as I could for a very long time. In the end, we have a beautiful, healthy young boy by the name of Devin Byron Jackson. So before I go, I'm going to show you this handsome little boy. He does not cry. He whimpers a little, but he does not cry. Okay, smile. Here's your debut. Here he goes. He looks just like his daddy. He is a sweetie, and I am thrilled. I can't wait to go home tomorrow. My other boys are excited, and I'm looking forward to having a little newborn in the house again. And so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to sign off. If you have any questions or any comments, you know where to send them. I'm going to be doing my postpartum videos. I want to try to do them once a week, but you know how it gets when you have a newborn in the house. So I will do them at least every 2 weeks, or if something significant happens. But I want to thank everybody for following my pregnancy. I want to thank everyone for their support and their love. Please look out for the for my streaming video that I'm going to edit, and also for the professional video that my friend Linda is putting together of the birth. I think and hope that it will help you ladies who are in the trying to conceive portion of your birthing experience. That I hope this helps you guys, and that's why I'm sharing my story, to help other ladies who have gone through what they've gone through. It's been a long journey, 2 losses, then a beautiful pregnancy, and now a beautiful child. So with that, I'm signing off. Thank you guys very much, and I will see you soon. Okay? Bye-bye.